Late night. Post peanut. Let's check some stuff out.
Nagasaki was Catholic.
Really?
That was a Catholic city.
When we were having...
Didn't help.
Come on. Imagine the bomb.
It did not help. The King of England showered 3 times in 3 months.
Oh,
and that was
God.
a scandal. Everyone was like, this motherfucker.
He's using up the water.
He thinks he is something else.
Right.
Oh,
No
my
one
God.
showered. It was rare to change your clothes once a year.
Oh,
They
their
were so
clothes
fucking
were like
mad.
rotting off of them.
I went to George Washington's house, his plantation.
Really?
Yeah, I went. You visit George Washington's house. And,
Where's Mount Vernon?
It's around D.C. It's on the Potomac, and it's beautiful, but it's actually a pretty shitty house.
wow.
It's a shitty house. It's from fucking 1770. It's like shitty. I'll fast forward the whole thing. But
Nope.
There's a part where I got in there and they have reenactors, and I'm the only one there. Like this is a Monday in the afternoon. I'm just doing nothing. So I go to I went to the slave quarters.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I want to see what's going on. I want to see what the fuss is all about. And I got down there and I heard like clopping down the bricks behind me. And I turned around, dude, and it was a slave reenactor. It was just a black dude dressed as a slave and just me in a tracksuit standing there. And he was like, he didn't break character. None of them break character. So
No.
this dude.
No, then I haven't been here.
Bro.
Yeah.
This dude comes out. Me and him are the only dudes. And he's like, "Oh, hello there, sir."
This
And
isn't
I was-
real. This
dude,
is real?
I swear to God. 100%.
Oh, my God.
And I was standing there like, it was almost to the point where he was doing it like on purpose. But
Oh,
like,
to see if you'd bite?
so I turned around and I was just like, dude, like, I mean, that's basically the extent of the joke, but it's like, he's like, "You must be from the future. Look at your outfit. Where are you from?" So I was like, "I'm from now. What are you doing out?" That brings us to our guy, though. This is who I wanted to get to. Polk, dude. Turns out Polk's the man.
Really?
Yeah.
I know nothing about Pope.
No.
He was one term because he was a dark horse out of nowhere, and he promised everybody in his party, "I'll only do one term. That way, some of you guys that are good, that are getting ready, you can take over. I promise to do one term." Immediately, he starts fucking with the British about Oregon. So they have the Oregon Territory out there, which is just beaver hunting. Everybody's
Trying to get us dropping
beaver
some
hunting.
knowledge. LOL.
We're doing a little bit of that in Nash Vegas. The British and Americans were both hunting on the same territory, and Polk was like, "Nah, we're done with that." And he said the latitude and longitude was 54 and 40. So he came out with the slogan 54 and 40 or fight. He was saying that to the British. He was like, "We're going to
Very
fuck
catchy.
you guys up." And the British were afraid to call his bluff. They were just like, "Fine, take it."
Like, that slogan is so
Yeah,
good.
so he takes that territory, which is huge. And then it's not just Oregon, it's Washington and all that.
Yeah.
He's like, "All right, it's time for me to get Texas."
Mhm.
He starts fucking with the Mexicans. Like, so they would send troops down just to see if the Mexicans would shoot first. Finally, they did. So they go to war.
Yeah, they-
70,000 troops poured in.
Oh no.
So we immediately took California, Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Texas. So one thing that was cool was when Polk was instigating this war with Mexico. So Polk was up there like, they're fucking with us. They shot at our troops. And I saw an old one-term senator from Illinois at the time stood up and said, "Were we on their territory when we shot him?" There was one guy that was opposed to the Mexican-American War, a guy by the name of Abraham Lincoln.
Really?
Abraham Lincoln.
People were
yes.
like, "Hey, shut up.
Yeah, dude.
We're trying to take Texas. Shut the fuck
He's
up."
like, "You guys, were we?" I'm like, "Shh."
Yeah,
He was like, "Sorry."
Yeah, I think this was wrong. Anyway, that's why Polk's kind of the man. He added 1/3 of the entire United States in a 4-year term.
Damn.
Pretty good.
Japanese and the Germans had no idea that America was populated with dudes from coal mines in West Virginia that were like, "Yeah, I shot the prisoners. I done it.
Yeah, it was just
It was
dudes.
cruel, but I done it."
They just took orders their whole
Yeah.
lives. They're like, "Go pick those weeds, boy." And they go out there and pick the weeds. Like, "You're gonna go fight those Japanese." And
He's
you're
like,
like,
"All right."
"All right."
He's like, "Yeah, it rained for a month. I didn't like it. What could I do? So I shot him."
Dude, those dudes were so fucking strong too.
Yeah.
Just like 1940s farm boys.
Yeah,
They're the strongest.
Dude, literally a guy from a coal. His dad was in World War One, came back and worked in a coal mine for 50 years. And he was like, "I want to be like my dad." And he just went to the coal mine, started working, and they pulled him out when he was 18 to go in World War II.
Imagine being a Japanese 19-year-old getting death by one of those guys. Just having a coal miner's hands around your neck. Like, yeah, now you better hold still there. Yep.
Come here now.
Come on now.
Now you're shooting my buddies, so now you're dead.
Fair's fair. Fair's fair.
You, under your breath, told me that you thought a French general was the greatest of all time.
Napoleon.
Napoleon. Napoleon.
No.
Almost the other picture we had up right there. I just want to let you
Grant's the
know.
bro. But Napoleon's
But
up
do
there.
you have to say that because of your patriotism? If you actually had to sit down and objectively,
Honestly,
Yeah,
I
if you
don't.
be honest, it's Robert E. Lee, right?
I mean, he wasn't working with a lot. He wasn't. He did. You know what I mean? He did good with what he had.
Go dog. Come on, man.
You know.
He was. That's SEC, dude. It's a different brand now. Monroe got Florida from the Spanish.
Nice.
So the reason that happened, though, was because of Jackson. Because Jackson was taking his troops to Florida, and Monroe was sending a guy on a horse. Or I don't know if they had telegrams yet, but it'd take them 8 days to say, leave Florida alone. We're trying to negotiate a price. The Spanish owned it. We can't afford to buy it. I can't justify it. I'm not going to get it through Congress. And Jackson was writing back and saying, I'm just going to take it.
I'm gonna blow some water.
I'm just going to take it militarily. I'm going to attack them. And Monroe said, no, you may not. I'm the president. You may not do that. And Jackson just ignored him.
Yeah, started attacking
And he
him.
did it. He
What?
took Florida, and then he showed up in D.C. and was like, right? That was good, right? And Monroe's like, yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, he's like, but also I bought it.
Good job. Yeah, also, I think
He
we
paid for it.
We paid for it, and it was a mess.
While Jackson was like fucking with them, the Spanish were like to Monroe. They're like, yeah, you can buy it.
He just went and killed him.
He was down fighting them, and he was like,
Yeah.
actually, you know what? Yeah, we're gonna
But
sell it.
there's two generals that did that. Him and MacArthur did that too. Just did shit without permission.
Yeah.
And then showed up and said, right, Mr. President? Wasn't that the plan
That was
all
pretty
along?
good.
I was like, yes, it was the plan all along. Whatever you want.
You know what fired me out? There's a part where the revolution starts in Massachusetts, and then they're trying to rally the rest of the colonies to be like, help us out. But then when Pennsylvania and like South Carolina and North Carolina start joining in, like it was a true melting pot. You know what I mean? But it's talking about how like just frontiersmen from Pennsylvania started rolling in and hanging out with all these New England books.
Right.
It's like, dang, that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
And they were like, these guys are a problem. They were like the British were like, oh fuck, they got the retarded guys.
PA was always a problem.
PA was a problem. 'Cause anybody that was like out, Appalachia was where the country stopped.
Okay.
Like past that was like native land, and there were people out there fighting. So these guys had been fighting for 40 years.
See, this is the shit I wish
they're just
I could
animals.
retain. It's impressive to me that you
And
have
they're
this
trappers and shit,
working
and
knowledge.
like survivalists, so they
Yeah.
knew how to live on the land, like with no food and shit.
Right.
So all of a sudden you got all these like freaks coming out of the woods, and you're just some fucking from fucking London. Let's move to Jefferson.
Jefferson.
He's number 3.
That's 01 to 09. He was a 2-term guy. Right when he got in, the French and the British started going to war. So everybody in America was like, fuck England. Americans started being like, fuck England. Let's join France in the war. He was the only one with the foresight to be like, we have 40 guys in our military and 3 boats.
Yeah,
Let's shut the fuck
it
up.
was not.
So he declared neutrality, and everybody called him a we're just not going to trade with either of them. So then the American economy just plummeted. England started just saying, if you're not trading with us, we're just going to confiscate your ships, kidnap all the sailors, make them join the British Navy. So he was getting punked by England.
One thing interesting about Jefferson is because he's so famous for having had a slave and having had like 50,000 slaves, or whatever, not that many, and having had children with his slave, and I don't think he ever even gave him freedom. Didn't free.
He didn't free the kids.
He didn't free a couple. He freed a couple of
Freed
them.
2.
Yeah.
And the rest he kept enslaved until he died. And what was interesting about them
Damn, he did the ultimate because I said so.
is son like that. Can I stop being a slave? He's like, no. I said no.
A fun Jefferson story that I like is that when he was in Paris, he had this woman, a girlfriend named something Causeway or something. His wife died when he was pretty young, and she made him promise on her deathbed that he would never have another woman, which is a horrible thing to do
Yeah, fuck,
to a
man.
young man that you're fucking.
Yeah, it's like,
not
yeah.
even somebody to take care of the kids they
It's
had.
like, no, I promise.
And so there was a woman in Paris. She was a British painter. She was married, but she was a painter, and she fell in love with Thomas Jefferson, and they were very much in love with each other. But then the way they broke up was very funny to me because he wrote her these beautiful letters, she was in love with him, he was in love with her. But then the French, when he was leaving France, they wanted a great portrait of him to put in the National Gallery, and they said to him, you can choose any painter in the world. And he was like, no, I want, a real guy. And his girlfriend was like, why not me? And he's like, baby, come on. I mean, you're good. You're good, but you're not like fucking grown man. You're not like fucking, I'm not for history.
Calling you autistic. I was literally playing a Civil War simulator on my laptop.
What was the first battle?
The first Manassas, or Bull Run, there was a Union skedaddle. They got out of there. That was the one where it was outside of Washington, so a bunch of senators, they thought it was going to be fun. They showed up with picnic baskets, sat on the hill drinking, and watched the battle. And then it ended up being, that was technically, some people say it was the first modern war. So they started hitting them with rifled bullets, and they're like, oh shit, this isn't what it used to be.
Oh, because you weren't using muskets?
No, it just...
John Jones has flip-flopped on retirement more times than he's failed drug tests, more times than he's drunk drove and gotten arrested, and more times than he's beaten his wife, unfortunately. So, in this video, we are going to talk about what is going on with John Jones because he continues to flip-flop about retirement, and Dana White doesn't seem very interested. So, in this video, we're going to get into just that. Stick around to hear the full story. My name is Wyatt. Welcome to Fight Society.
Well, one of the greatest potentials of all time.
What's going on, guys? We just did a video about John Jones's protege, Gable Steveson, and his run-ins with the law when it comes to sexual assault just the other day. And now John Jones has a little headlines of his own. And so we're going to get into that because right here, John Jones, he's flip-flopping quite a bit. And we take this back to mid last week where John Jones made this appearance where he was interviewed by Red Corner MMA at the IBA bare knuckle event, I think it was, in Russia. He very clearly says he is no longer fighting. This is the clip right here.
My gloves are hung up. I'm chilling these days. You got business John Jones. No more fighter John Jones.
Yeah, in Russia, getting paid money to go hang out with Kadyrov and have kids outside his marriage.
The businessman.
All right, so he says right there, no more fighter John Jones, the businessman. And that's what we've heard quite a bit. I mean, Dana White even said after John Jones was left off of the White House card that John Jones was done with the UFC, and he was even kind of starting to position himself for a fight with Francis Ngannou on the Jake Paul MVP MMA card. Now, obviously, that was not going to take place because I think he has like 6 fights left on his UFC contract, and the UFC is not going to let him out of that contract to go and fight Francis Ngannou under Jake Paul's now rivaling promotion. But right there, you see John Jones says that the end has arrived in terms of his fighting career. And then the day before UFC 327 in Miami last weekend, which was Saturday night, on Friday night, there was a dirty boxing event in which John Jones sat ringside. He talked with Hunter Campbell, and even right here, this looks like him and Gable might be giving each other a little bit of a smooch, you know what I'm saying?
This guy.
What's going on here, John? Don and Gable, what are y'all doing?
What's going on?
And Gable, he says, yo, pause, like, you know, like he's really hiding anything here. But you see people tagging Guru and stuff like, Guru, we need you to come back, bro. We need responses to the John Jones headlines from Guru because he's already made multiple John Jones's gay type videos. So I know Guru's been a little bit inactive compared to previous years recently, but we need, put the bat signal up, put the beanie signal up. We need him back, all right? I want to hear Guru's take on John Jones and Gable Steveson kissing ringside. That's more of a side story to the main point of this video because although he said very clearly that he is done fighting, fighter John Jones is done. He did sit cage side or ringside, same as this video, with Hunter Campbell, the UFC boss, essentially, because Dana White doesn't do anything for the actual matchmaking and contract negotiations in the UFC anymore. And you see right here, talking to Gable, talking to John Jones, even McMaynard's right here as well. So the UFC brass, the matchmakers and the executives are present at this dirty boxing event. And I'm sure that's because they're in the same city as UFC 327. John Jones, of course, is one of the part owners of DBX. This dude, John Jones, is talking about his return, apparently, because this is an interview that he did with the Schmo right here.
Saw you chopping up with Hunter ringside right there. You officially said that you're done, but maybe the door's wide open.
We had that conversation tonight. Yeah, we did have that conversation. I took a stem cell right before the White House card was kind of like curated, and I'm starting to feel the effects of that stem cell. I feel really good physically. So I told him, let's not put any pressure or anything. I want to focus on coaching Gable right now, but who knows what the future holds.
Who knows what the future holds, and he wants to focus on coaching Gable Steveson. And if you watched my video about Gable Steveson just a couple days ago, I'll link that down below. People like Daniel Cormier, other people in the space are saying that Gable Steveson has a very high ceiling in MMA, given his wrestling pedigree, given how athletic and explosive, and how he's a natural heavyweight. He's not John Jones or Alex Pereira moving up as a light heavyweight, or even Pereira as a former middleweight, to be kind of a bloated light heavyweight fighting at heavyweight. Gable Steveson is a legitimate heavyweight. And so John Jones says he's focused on Gable in more ways than one, but John Jones is flip-flopping. Like, I don't know if he's been getting hit in the head too much, because right here, literally like a week and a half ago,
my gloves are hung up. I'm chilling these days. You got business, John Jones.
It sounds better.
And then here,
now.
he said, we'll see what happens. He says that he feels great. And look, I know that I talk so much shit about John Jones on this channel, but the fact of the matter is, in the current state of the UFC, ticket sales are down, numbers are down. The fans are the most fatigued and upset with the UFC that they have been in maybe ever, at least since I've been watching the sport. And so the fact of the matter is that the UFC does need to make some big splashes when it comes to major fighters. They already have Alex Pereira and Ilia Topuria on the White House. I think that's an amazing start. That's going to be a massive, massive card. There's no way around that. But John Jones, Conor McGregor, these type of guys need to make a comeback to the sport. John Jones, McGregor, if we can get a Jones pay-per-view or a numbered event, whatever they call them now, if we can get a Jones pay-per-view and a McGregor pay-per-view before the end of this year, the UFC fan base will be fully back behind the promotion. There's still going to be the other looming problems that the UFC has, like fighter pay and the treatment of the fighters and the cards overall not being great quality. But we can live with that a little bit if we at least get the fights that we want to see. All right, because the UFC had their worst gate in company history in Miami last weekend. They went from like 14 million to 11 million, and now they were at like 6 million for the Yuri versus Olberg fight. So that shows you that the UFC currently has a major, major need for some star power. And I know that John Jones is not the same level of star as Conor McGregor when it comes to pay-per-view sales. I actually think that John Jones never sold 1 million buys as a pay-per-view headliner, whereas McGregor can kind of just like shit out million buy pay-per-views in his sleep. But I'm telling you guys, Paramount is putting up over $1 billion a year, and they're not going to recoup that money with the UFC. I did a video about this for the channel members a few months. Actually, it was like maybe 3 weeks ago, where I talked about how Paramount overall is going to lose money on this UFC deal, and that Paramount might just be okay with losing that money because the value of having the UFC on your platform might be so important to them. It also might be little bit of a favor for what they've done for Trump and shit like that. So we'll have to see how the entire 7-year Paramount deal goes right now, because the UFC is not particularly motivated to put on big cards in this moment in time. But if John Jones is feeling better, he wants to come back. Forget all the shit that I talk about John Jones. I do want to see him return to the UFC.
I don't know why
I would love for Alex Pereira to beat Ciryl Gane and then fight Tom Aspinall at Madison Square Garden later this year. And then maybe we get Jones back at the top of 2027 against the winner of Aspinall and Pereira. If it's Aspinall, John probably doesn't come back. He already dumped a $30 million payday for that fight. So I doubt that the Aspinall fight happens, but a Pereira fight could if Pereira was to pull off a win against Tom Aspinall. Now, we talked about a couple weeks ago how John Jones had a road rage incident where it actually looked like he pulled a weapon on a teenager, like a 19 or 20-year-old, over a road rage incident. It looked like he had a weapon in his pocket. I made a whole nother video about that. But John Jones did this interview after the Schmo interview with Shay Filling. And Shay Filling, you know, like, yeah, sure, it's great that she got this interview, but she kind of glazes John Jones. And this is one thing that I hate. And people say this to me sometimes where they're like, oh, you talk shit about fighters, you talk shit online, you would never say that to their face. Give me a John Jones interview and see what I say, dog. But Shay Filling is just kind of glazing him up and down.
How you feeling?
I feel absolutely amazing.
Zesty, I feel absolutely amazing right now. I just kissed Gable ringside. Sorry.
We just completed Dirty Boxing 6. We had a full arena. We were also in the biggest arena that we've had. The fans were happy. The fights were exciting. We had a whole bunch of celebrities show up.
Is it what you imagine for tonight?
No. The show is, it goes past my imagination every single time. I'm so grateful to be a part of this. We're growing so fast. And I mean, we had Hunter Campbell here, one of the UFC bosses. We're legit. We're here to stay, and it feels really good.
What is it that makes you different from all the other promotions out there right now?
I think.
So this is all like DBX stuff, but we'll get into the John Jones making an excuse for his past troubles.
I think you know, Dirty Boxing is a family business. You know, the Kawa family, and they allowed me to be a part of it. So you just see true care and collaboration here. Everything is a decision. You know, what color octagon? What color are you boxing? And everything. We're just so meticulous about what we do, and it's just wonderful.
You are nothing what I expected.
And here comes the glaze.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did you expect me to be a scary guy?
The media, you know, everybody.
Yeah, you know.
She's like, yeah, the media villainizes you. My God. What happened to journalism, bro? Journalism's cooked. The media makes you out to be such a bad guy. I thought you'd be so scary, but you're so wonderful. Oh my God, that shit makes me so fucking mad. Don't call yourself a journalist if you can't ask real questions.
There's a lot of stuff out there about you, and you think, what would he be like in person? And you're completely the opposite of that.
Thank you. Yeah, you know, I'm a little bit of a wild guy, and I'm pretty well known. So when I mess up, it gets very, very public. But I do believe I'm way more good of a person than I am any negative.
He says that he's way more good of a person than he is any negative. Very, very interesting, considering that he possibly just had a gun on him during a road rage incident with a teenager the other day. I mean, it's crazy. When you consider Albuquerque, New Mexico, it sounds insane. It literally sounds like Batman Arkham Asylum, where like you just have the best cage fighter of all time, or one of the best cage fighters of all time, running around the city, beating his wife, drunk driving around the city, firing a weapon into the air to where he gets arrested for it back in 2020, road raging teenagers, and then and then claiming that that he gets bullied and that he's protecting the elderly of Albuquerque, New Mexico. It's a wild, like the things that go on in John Jones's brain. It makes you really worry how hard he sparred, how many times he's gotten hit in the head, or if he's just delusional and schizophrenic or something like that, because his brother Chandler has had some serious mental episodes as well. It might run in the family, to be honest. I know I'm talking a bit of shit, but I'm tired of, even though I do want John Jones to return and give us some sort of massive, massive fight, you got to be honest about who the guy is, regardless of if you're starstruck to interview him or not.
We all have our things, you know?
Yeah, we all have our things. Like like beating our wives, getting arrested, drunk driving, hitting pregnant ladies in cars. Yeah, we all got our things, you know? just things.
We all have our sides, but I think I'm a pretty good person.
Thank you. I appreciate your time. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying every second of this. This is awesome.
What kind of fucking journalism is this, dog? I mean, I'm sure she's a nice lady. But while you're interviewing somebody, you're just fangirling over him as well. And it's like somebody, he doesn't give a fuck about you. And like, I mean, this shit got 72 likes and 8 comments. So it's like kind of sacrificing your journalistic integrity for 72 likes.
Can we? Where else are you gonna have their next fight at?
I'm not sure. I think
Maybe this like is this a second or third in Miami?
Yeah, I think we're gonna try to get to Nashville, Tennessee, Nashville. Yeah, we did pretty well out in Nashville.
Okay, so they talk a little bit about that. And then the very next night, post-fight at UFC 327, Dana White was asked about Jon Jones' protege, Gable Steveson, being signed to the promotion, and what is next for Jon Jones when it comes to the UFC.
Announced on the broadcast tonight that I think everybody thought it was inevitable at some point, but Gable Steveson is on your roster now, debuting at International Fight Week. What do you think the ceiling is for him? I guess, how do you handle him, right? He's a hot prospect. Do you kind of take it step by step? Is he somebody you think can move up the ladder pretty quickly? What do you kind of see the path being?
Yeah, I think you get him in the UFC. Everybody has those UFC jitters when they first get here. You know, you give him a fight that there's no easy fights here, but you know, we'll see how he does.
No opponent for him yet?
No.
That's not necessarily true maybe it was true when he said it, but he does have an opponent. I can't share who, but it's watch, guys. Gable Stevenson's going to be fighting a fucking bum in his first fight.
Jon Jones says that watching UFC 327 lit a fire in him to compete, and now he's potentially not retired. He's not committing to it. Have you talked to him at all about anything, or no?
No. And listen, how is that any different than John's been in the last 10 years?
Thank you. I just said in my Gable Steveson video the other day, I was like, you spent 10 to 15 years cleaning up Jon Jones's mess and kind of propping up his career in a lot of ways, overlooking massive mistakes that massive, not even just mistakes, but just transgressions against women, against his opponents, against the business, like so many different things they've had to clean up after Jon Jones. And now they go and sign his protege, who he's coaching, who also has some very, very dark things tied to his name. I mean, you can either watch my video that's linked down below, or you could just Google Gable Steveson 2019 arrest, and you'll see all about it, all right? But it's just interesting. They spend 10 to 15 years cleaning up Jon Jones's mess so that he can still participate in the sport, just to sign a guy who is coached by him and has similar issues outside the cage.
You know what I mean? The way I always looked at, I used to tell Lorenzo, you'll never be able to build a business with this guy. But when he does show up, it's fun.
And that sounds pretty similar to McGregor as well, because, you know, McGregor, when he was on his rise through the UFC, champ or interim champ, undisputed champ, double champ, and then the Floyd fight, and then the Khabib fight, like all of that stuff you could build a business off of Conor when he was in his prime, because he showed up injured or healthy and put on a great show, put on great promo. Nowadays, you can't really build a business off of Conor McGregor because he's inconsistent. He's a drug addict. I mean, he's the reason I got into the sport. I gotta be objective about who Conor McGregor is. He is a drug addict. He potentially has assaulted multiple women. I mean, he was found civilly liable in court, regardless of how sketchy the details on that are. You know, he was found civilly liable of assaulting a woman in court. He wasn't found civilly liable for sexual assault, but he was found civilly liable for assault. So, which means he was found guilty of beating her up, but he wasn't found guilty of raping her. It's kind of a confusing situation there. But Conor McGregor, he's a flake. He's a drug addict, potentially a rapist, and a bunch of other things as well tied in with the Irish mob. There's a lot of shit about Conor as well. So Conor in his prime was somebody that you could build a business off of, and they did. Ronda Rousey as well. Jon Jones, you can't build a business. Like Dana said, it's just fun when he shows up, and that's kind of where we're at with Conor McGregor too. We're talking about a potential Conor McGregor return in July, and this would be like the 10th time we've talked about it in the 5 years since he broke his leg against Dustin Poirier at UFC 264. And the same thing, like, they're not going to build a future. They're not going to build some 3 or 4 year plan with Conor McGregor where they get him a couple fights, they try to get him a title fight, whether that be BMF or undisputed, whether that be lightweight or welterweight. But it'll be fun if Conor shows up, because Conor's probably got maximum, if he has any maximum 1 or 2 fights left with the UFC.
Hadn't
So they're not
played,
going to
like,
build
in,
a business off of
4
John
years
Jones
since he came
or
out?
Conor McGregor at this point in their
Since the
careers based on their
Eldritch
out of the
got
cage
back.
problems and their inconsistency when it shows to showing up in the
I have
cage.
no idea what
But
the meta
somebody like
is,
Ilya
nothing.
Taporia, I know he had the divorce thing.
Use
Somebody
what
like
I
Ilya
have.
Taporia, somebody like Alex Pereira, people like
Go
that
with
you
the
can build a
flow.
business off of because they'll show up. I know Ilya's a little bit inactive with the divorce stuff, but multiple times a year, 2 or more times a year, especially Alex Pereira, Volkanovski as well. They don't give you problems outside the cage. Volk's probably a better example than Taporia in this case, but you know, Volk's not giving you problems outside the cage. He's showing up 2 to 3 times a year. Same thing with Alex Pereira. Those are the guys you can build a business off of, and it'll just be fun if Jones or McGregor or both of them come back at some point in 2026 or early 27. Now, Colby Covington, the final point I want to make is Colby Covington did an interview on Daniel Cormier's YouTube channel. Colby Covington has gone full bore into the RAF wrestling. I really don't think he's ever going to commit to the UFC. I don't think he's ever going to participate in a UFC event ever again, but he's gone full bore. He's actually a partner in RAF from what I can understand. And so he's a big name that will draw quite a bit of eyes to RAF. I mean, I was at the event in Arizona that they did, the one where Armin and Giorgio got into the brawl and Cejudo beat Uriah Faber. There was a lot of fun stuff. Aljo beat Benson Henderson on that card. But Colby came out and gave like a, who should I wrestle next? Should I wrestle George St. Pierre or Marty Fake News? And like he got a massive pop. And so considering how much less wear and tear wrestling is on your brain and your body, still very, very rough, but not as bad as MMA. I could see Colby carving out a 5 or 6 year career in RAF before all is said and done and then becoming a commentator or something like that. So Colby's kind of got his post-UFC life mapped out. I think it's actually already started. I don't think he ever fights in the UFC again, but he made this appearance on DC's YouTube channel and he made some very, very serious accusations about John Jones' PED usage when Colby and John were community college wrestling roommates.
Well, it wasn't until like my last year in college when he started doing testosterone because he wanted to beef up from 197 to heavyweight. So his plan was like, hey, let's just start doing a bunch of testosterone to get strength and get bigger. And that's when his mood swings just started going all over the place. He started yelling at me for little shit. Like I'd have my shoes like up front by the door. What the Colby? Shoes by the door, I was tripped out, like freaking out, making a big deal out of something.
Colby, you're lying.
I wish I was lying.
This is chaos.
I wish it was.
I'm actually
bro.
talking to chaos now.
No, I'm being real, bro. That's the honest truth, bro. And he was screaming about dishes. He even brought that back in an Insta post a couple years ago. Yeah, I made Colby do he would freak out about little shit that didn't matter just because he was having mood swings from all the chemicals and the steroids he was putting in his body. That's facts.
DC goes, I mean, DC lost to a steroided John Jones and ended up getting overturned to a no contest. So like DC, he wants to believe it, but he's trying to appear as objective as well.
Really? No one can dispute that. Dude, he failed 2 or 3 steroid tests. The guy's a cheater, bro. Like, he was doing it in college because he wanted to bulk up to heavyweight. He didn't want to go 197 anymore.
Did you see him the other day with that guy in the car?
Yeah.
What was that? Was that old?
I don't know. I mean, well, it wasn't until like...
And then they get into that, the whole road rage incident as well. But this would check out with John Jones. You know, he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame, beats up his wife, gets arrested, does the whole, a black man can't drink. A black man can't drink. I hate you, you cracker. And then potentially pulling a gun on somebody in a road rage incident. And then, of course, all the other things that he's gotten caught up in the past. It looks like this stuff goes back to John Jones in the early college days. So there we have it. John Jones kind of wants to come back to the UFC. Dana White is kind of on the fence about it. It sounds like he doesn't really care. But if John wanted to come back, he would be down. So genuinely, John Jones is one of the most confusing characters in the sport because he's angry, then he's nice. He's retired, and then he's active. He loves the UFC, and then he wants out of his UFC contract. And it just makes me think like steroids, testosterone, getting hit in the head for a living is not a good combo. So guys, let me know in the comments down below. Do you think we see John Jones in the UFC again? Do you think Colby's telling the truth about the steroid accusation? Let me know your thoughts down below. I'll see you guys next time. Do you want more from Fight Society? Like and subscribe below this video and click the join button to become a channel member today to get access to behind the scenes vlogs and members only live streams.
Do you think that Stipe versus John Jones fight should have never happened?
Tom Aspinall was the interim champion when John Jones fought Stipe.
Yeah, I know.
How? John not fighting Tom messes with the balance.
Bro, finisher board, bro. Okay. Damn, let's play. I want to negate, and I can run it over, but I can't bring out beat stick and have potential banish. There's a card here that says something about banish. This card's low-key useless. Fuck. I need to bring a Lord. Yeah. Fuck. swear to God, I was wondering what this. Dress myself strong as shit. Bro, this guy doesn't win this. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fucking cards to my 1. Guys just hoping I give up in case he misplays. I swear I beat this guy the other day. Oh, whoa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was him. Oh, hurry up. Get it? I almost broke your board. I just misplayed. Ash. Congratulations, you got the OTK after 30,000 years. Fucking bitch. Literally haven't played it forever. I have been using the same goddamn cards, bro. The motherfucker with a stupid mat. Fucking pussy. Second, bro. I have one card to save me. Blackwoods. It's a fighter. Hope that does something. What does he have? Majesty. I don't know. I don't feel. Oh, showcase. Hello, well. They targeted. The fuck? fuck dueling late night with the Japanese fucks. Man, niggas so really good at this fucking game. It's fucking annoying. I already know this fuck. I don't wanna play. It's taking 30,000 years. Oh, because Aston is in the graveyard, DD's there, and the dumbass. Trigger tribute to myself. Regret playing this. Should've just played a game Mark. So fucking retarded. Fucking triggers with any effect. back, chat. I don't know how. Chat, this duel's legendary. Never give up, never surrender. Sorry if I'm drunk or something. A little faded, but mostly sleepy. Worked an 8-hour shift and streamed about 6 or 8. Most of my time accounted for, chat. GG's came back. Don't know how I did that. Well, I do know, but that's the point. Thank you, chat. Thank you for the 2 streams. Late stream. Pretty chill. Boring game. Kind of. No drama. You live and you learn. GG's chat. See you guys in the afternoon, probably. You'll wake up early enough. Should probably. Damn, I have 3.5k gems. I use this shit tomorrow. Oh, thank you, chat. Have a good one. Appreciate it.